All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be checking out some of these new spoilers that have been released for OP12, okay? I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but we had a market watch already lined up. We do those on the 1st and the 15th of every single month. So we had to knock that out, but I did go over these cards a little bit then. Now, for today's video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into these new cards and seeing what we got here. There's a lot of cool new stuff to talk about. Now, let me go and lay out the video real quick. First things first, we are going to be talking about all the new spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, now's your chance to skip to the end of the video, right? I'll have everything timestamped. But the first thing we're going to do is check out all these new cards coming out for OP12 and really thinking about them and talking about it. And really kind of, I'm probably going to go even over some cards that have already been released for a while now, just to kind of cross-reference them with some possibilities that we're going to have in OP12 with all the information we have available to us so far. That's going to be first. After that, we are going to head over to the sim. I have a single game for us to go over on the sim of Red Yellow Sabo, a Goa Kingdom version, just one game, and then we'll finish off the video by looking at the deck list that I'm running, and that'll be that. Okay, so let's do this, guys. You know what you're getting into. I'll have everything timestamped, like I said, in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comments section below. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down there in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, let's talk about the most exciting card first. I have to say, so as a yellow player, a yellow main, we have to talk about Kuma first. Okay, that is the card you see in the background here. Bartholomew Kuma. I'm going to read what it does, and then we're going to talk about the implications. 6 cost, 7,000 power, strike character, Revo army, 7 warlords, and then counter 1,000. On play. By the way, I have to say real quick, that strike attribute is actually kind of relevant right now, considering the card that came out just right before it, you know, that they previewed right before it with this new Zoro. If your leader has the slash attribute, this character cannot be KO'd in battle by slash attribute cards and gains plus 1,000 power. So it is probably, I'm going to try to start saying the attribute more often when we're doing these spoilers, because it is becoming more and more relevant as the game grows and as they add newer and newer mechanics into it. But anyway, so we have a strike character, Revo Army, 7 Warlords type, 1k counter. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Can you guys see this okay? Yeah. You may trash 1 card from your hand. Add the top card of your deck to your life pile. Then, this character gains plus 2 cost until your opponent's next end phase. And then, opponent's turn, on KO, add the top card of your deck to your life pile. Guys, this card is absolutely incredible. Let me just tell you right now, I'm a huge fan of this card. As a yellow player, this will more than likely become a staple in every single yellow deck moving forward. I'm going to bring up, this will be the deck list for today's video, but I just want to bring up all of the yellow leaders in the game real quick. So this is every single yellow leader in the game right now, like currently at the bottom. My head's in the way. Let me move my head over to the other side real quick. There we go. So this is every yellow leader in the game. And honestly, I don't know a single leader who would not want to run this Kuma. I mean, maybe there's an argument for Shirahoshi, but I mean, still, you can play out the Kuma and gain a life no matter what. Because remember, this card, guys, is absolutely incredible. It just says there are no restrictions anywhere. So you trash one on play, you play this character out, you trash 1 card from your hand, and then you gain a life from the top of your deck. Seems good. And it's a 6 cost card with a 1k counter. It's 7,000 power statted. There really is no downside to this card. Okay, well, what if you're playing against, like, Blackbeard or something, right? If you're playing against Blackbeard, okay, well, yeah, you might not get the on-play effect, but you know what you will get? The on-KO effect. I mean, there are ways around that, right? They can use, like, Van Augur to -3 to this card and then hit it with a, what's it called? The Black Hole effect. So, like, that there is some potential there to, like, shut that off as well. And, of course, it can be bottom decked. There are ways to get around the on-KO, of course. That's been around for a while. But the point is, they have to go out of their way to make sure they remove this card in the proper way. Because unless there's been some type of, translational error, this just says when KO'd or on KO. So, in other words, that could even be in battle. Right, that could even be in battle, you're gaining a life. Excuse me. And the other thing, too, to consider is this on-play effect right here. You technically don't have to do that if you don't want to. You know, if they turn off your on-play effects for the turn, like with something like going against Blackbeard or something like that, Okay, well, you play out a 6-cost 7K. It's not like you went backwards or anything. It's not like you're playing out a understated character that's like a 6-cost 5K. No, you're playing out a 6-cost card that's 7,000 powers worth. So, really not bad. And then in your hand, it's a 1K counter. It's also Revo Army and 7 Warlords. The 7 Warlords is not as relevant yet, but think about for something like Bello Betty and Red Yellow Sabo, for those who, and for the new Black Yellow Koala. But anyone who might be new to the channel, Red Yellow Sabo is a main here on the channel. Right? Like this is a leader that I've been maining for quite some time here on the channel. And so Red Yellow Sabo, this is a Revo Army leader, and so is Bello Betty, and so is Black Yellow Koala. They all share the yellow and are Revo Army. So in other words, they're going to be able to run searchers and things like that to find these cards if they need to. The things that Kuma is going to allow for deck building, it's going to really open the doors for deck building for yellow right now. And I think most people would agree that yellow is kind of in the worst spot currently. Again, if you disagree, say something in the comment section below. I just ask that you be respectful. But I think yellow is probably in the worst position in the game right now as far as like competitiveness goes. So think of it like this. I'm just going to go through literally every single leader and talk about it. So Red, Yellow, Bello Betty, and Sabo and Koala, that Kuma card is going to pair absolutely perfectly with the 4-cost Kikanojo. So you have a 4-6 curve no matter what. So you have your 4-Dawn and your 6-Dawn play. Pretty much, let me just say that right now, guys. Like, scratch just Revo Army. Like, let's take Revo Army out of the picture for a second. Every one of these leaders you see on the screen right now, all of these leaders at the bottom, you now have a 4-Dawn, 6-Dawn curve every single time. So going second, just figure out something to do on your 1 or 2-Dawn turn, and then but your 4-Dawn and 6-Dawn turn, yeah, it goes Kikanojo or Basil Hawkins. Basil Hawkins is another really good 4-Dawn play right now, straight into 6-Dawn Kuma. And now, you can go anywhere from there. You can go pretty much anywhere from there. You gained a life back and everything with the Kuma, and if they KO your Kikanojo, you could potentially gain a life depending on how much life your opponent has. It just opens up the doors for a lot of different things, okay? So that's just, so Red, Yellow, Bello Betty, Sabo, and Koala. I'm sure I'll be talking about these a lot more, but let's move on past that for now. Arlong, you're going to be able to play this out on curve on the following turn, because, so typically speaking with Arlong, you want to go first, okay? So I will say a few of these leaders, Kuma's not exactly great for it, but it's never bad for the leader. You see what I'm saying? Like with Arlong, yeah, you're going to want to go first. On turn 1, you pass the turn. Turn 2, you attach 2 Dawn to your leader, you swing 7, you pay 1, you slam down a 4-cost trigger character. Now that is one thing the card does not have. It does not have a trigger, right? Let me make sure I'm not crazy here. Yeah. It does not have a trigger. How crazy would that have been, guys? So just like a trigger that draws a card or something, just like a super basic trigger, then this card would have been absolutely insane. There'd have just never been any kind of possible downside. But anyway, back to what we were saying. So Arlong, sure, it's not great in this deck, but for when you're going second, your 2-4-6 curve, you can go, turn 1 normal play, turn 2, swing out with a character, smash in. Turn 3, you actually can just develop Kuma, and now you're gaining a life for more triggers. And by the way, for those who are not aware, Arlong runs a lot of triggers, like 30 plus if you're building it correctly, at least in my opinion. Okay. Yamato, you're probably going to be able to build Fortress Yamato very consistently now, because again, you have your 4-cost Kikanojo play into now your 6-cost Kuma, into your 8-cost like Eustace Kid or something, and if they're down to 3 or less life, you can attach 2 Dawn straight to your Eustace Kid, and then tap him down, rest it, now they have to attack into that. It just, again, it does so much. Trafalgar Law, this is a little bit trickier to figure out, because I will say this, excuse me, out of all the characters, out of all the leaders right now, the 2 that are probably the least likely to use a leader like Kuma would probably be something like Trafalgar Law, because he has a very specific game plan he's trying to do. But again, you can run 1 or 2 of those in the deck and make the deck more aggressive. It opens up brand new doors. This Kuma opens up so many new possibilities and varieties for you to build, because now instead of running a very traditional straightforward list like what we've seen with Green Yellow Law, where you're playing out tons of supernovas and like ripping your life down super quickly, maybe that's no longer your strategy. Now maybe you would want to go 2-Dawn play, 4-Dawn play, 6-Dawn Kuma, and just gain life and just focus on your life gaining maneuvers later in the game, because it gains you life, it develops a body, and you go from there. Really powerful stuff there. Shirahoshi's kind of weird. I'm not going to talk much about this leader. Who knows? Maybe there's something here. Let me move my camera back out of the way. hopefully you guys pause and read these if you don't know what these leaders do. This is for limited. Red, yellow, Sabo, of course. We went over Arlong, Yamato, now Trafalgar Law. Shirahoshi, this is a very strange deck. It's meant more for, this leader cannot attack. However, this actually does go very well. The more I think about it, how funny is that, guys? This actually goes very well in Shirahoshi because it gives you a life card. So if you need to, like, flip a life card as active for the turn, or excuse me, if you need to flip a life card face up and you don't have one face down already, well, then you could potentially, whoops, sorry, guys, that's going to be for later for the game. Yeah, this plays it face down, guys. It says you may trash one card from your hand and add the top card of your deck to your life pile. So that actually does go with green, yellow, law. The more I think about it, for like a 7 Dawn turn, you actually can do some shenanigans there where you just add the top card of your life to your deck, and then you just attach 1 Dawn to your leader, and then return a card back to your hand and see what the top card of your deck is and go from there. It actually... Again, guys, I just don't see where you would not want to play this card in every single yellow deck. In Queen, you're gaining a life, and it's an 8-cost character for a turn, right? For 1 turn, your Kuma becomes an 8-cost character, so you can even potentially gain a life off of that. So imagine, this is just a total hypothetical example, guys, but imagine it's super late in the game and you have like 1 life and 1 card in hand. That's how crazy this game's been, right? Don't worry. So here, next turn, we draw a card. Oh, it's the Kuma, right? It's the card Kuma, and we have no cards on the board for this example, right? Okay, no problem. Play out the Kuma, trashing the card from your hand. Remember, in this example, you had 1 life and 1 card in hand, and you drew the Kuma for the turn. Trash the card in hand, you go up to 2 life, you have an 8-cost character on the board now, attach it onto your leader, swing in for however many, you gain another life. I mean, those are just some of the possibilities you'll have with Kuma. Nami, this is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but it really helps with a 4-6 curve here. Just go Kikinojo, go into that. Now, with Port Gossiace, it's not like an incredible synergy, I will say that. But, again, in which of these decks can you not just pull off running Kuma as like a 1 of or a 2 of in the deck, and it's just always going to be a benefit? And then worst case scenario, okay, it's a 1K counter in hand. Seems good. Excuse me. Next up is Crocodile. I know all the Crocodile players saw this card. Let me go back to it. Every Crocodile player out there saw this card. Excuse me, guys. Every single Crocodile player saw this card and rejoiced. This is an on KO, gain a life. So now listen to all the options we have. Listen to all the options we have in like purple yellow right now for Crocodile. We have Kuma, like that we just saw. We have Kikinojo. We have Basil Hawkins. So Kuma and Basil Kuma and Kikinojo gain you life on KO. Basil Hawkins rips 1 of their life on KO, and then Magellan rips 2 of their Dawn on KO. And for those who are not aware of what we're talking about, like, okay, what is that? How does that pertain to Crocodile? Well, there's this card. There is this card called, I think it's called Okama Way on the sim. Let me see. Yeah. I think it's called O Come My Way that might be the real name of the card, but it's called Okama Way on the sim. 1 Dawn, Dawn -1. If your leader has Baroque Works, okay, which of course Crocodile does, in its types, choose 1 of your characters. It becomes the target of the attack. You guys see what's going on there, right? So now you can redirect attacks into Kuma to like gain a life, or Kikinojo to gain a life, or Basil Hawkins to trash your opponent's life, or into something like Magellan that just tears up their Dawn. So really cool stuff there. Let's go back to the leaders now. So just kind of, I'm going to go through the rest a little bit quicker now. Charlotte Pudding, it's not perfect for that deck, but you're gaining a life. You can do it on curve now. You can go 6 Dawn Kuma into 8 Dawn Katakuri into 10 Dawn Big Mom. So you just have like this really strong curve from there. It might, and let me say this too, one more thing. I'm not saying that Kuma will make its way into every single list, but it kind of can just go with any leader in yellow right now. It is such a versatile card. And actually, we're just going to skip the rest, guys. I'm just going to say it can go in Robin, Rosinante, Kairos, Linlin, Koala, every single card you see down here. And again, there's going to be a few that like it's not going to be perfect in, like Calgara, but you can pretty much put in any of these leaders, and you're going to have some kind of benefit. Because even think of it, let's just think of a totally generic yellow curve right now. We're talking turn 1, I don't care, and this is going second. Turn 1, play out Shura if you're playing Calgara. If you're playing something else like Pudding, you could search with Big Mom Pirates, or Luffy if you're searching up Supernova. If you're running red and yellow, you can run the 1-cost Searcher, Bellow Betty, and snag the Kuma, right? So turn 1, just play some type of Searcher, right? Going into turn 2, that's your 4 Dawn turn. We're talking about going second. 4 Dawn turn, guys, look at this. Let me just type in 4. You've got Kikinojo. You have Omen Holy into the other package. We were saying like the Calgara package. You have so many different options in the 4-cost spot. Even this Kuzan's a pretty good card. Basil Hawkins, you have tons of stuff. Even a 2K counter if you have to, just to keep tempo. And then going into your 6th Dawn turn, you're dropping down the Kuma, obviously. Then going into your 8th Dawn turn, you have these 2 massive options. Totally versatile characters. You can run either of these characters, Katakuri or Eustace Captain Kidd, in any deck. Okay, and then finally on your 10 Dawn turn, you have 10 cost Ace. If you're running Big Mom Pirates, you have 10 cost Linlin, and if you're running anything else, you have access to 10 cost Ace. Why does it bring up all these cards for 10? It must be looking up OP10 cards, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's doing this. There we go. You have the 10 cost Ace right here, right? I'm just, it's so nice to see. So I have to say this, going back to the card now, summarizing, I think this card is incredible. And this is something that Yellow sorely needed in the exact spot that they needed it too. Like, let me remind you, this was the exact spot that Yellow needed it. Because now let's talk about that. One more thing. Okay, we don't need any 4-drop cards, right? We don't, we'll skip past turn 1 and 2, but let's just say like 3 Dawn. In the 3 Dawn spot, we actually have a lot of good stuff between Lilith. We have, where's Jory Bonney at? There's a 3-cost Bonney in here somewhere. I don't know where it is. When I type in 3, it's bringing up all these different cards. I'm not sure what's going on there, guys. But whatever the case is, let me just type it like this. So we have this 3-cost Bonney right here. We have this 3-cost Bonney in the super, in green, yellow Trafalgar Law. We have plenty of stuff, Pero Sparrow, you name it. There are plenty of filler spots for the 3-cost spot within yellow right now. Because even if you're attaching extra draw to your leader, I mean, you got this blocker Saul right here. What else? This one doesn't really count. Yeah, Braum, though, if you're going to the Sky Island stuff, or any of that Sky Island stuff. There's even, like, 3-cost Karasu, if I can find it, guys. Where's that at? These cards seem like they're so out of order, guys. My apologies. I'm just going to type it in because I can't find it. You have this 3-cost Karasu. You have plenty of stuff in the 4-drop spot. Okay, 4-cost. So 3-drop, you have plenty of stuff. 4-drop, you have tons of cool stuff. Kikinojo, all of the Land of Wano stuff. Blocker Sanji, this Kuzan, you have plenty of stuff in the 4-cost spot, and in the 5-cost spot as well. The 5-cost spot is completely stacked. You have Nami, you have Gadatsu, you have Satori, even Momonosuke if you're trying to go with the Land of Wano stuff. Plenty of stuff in the 5-cost spot. Gadatsu and Nami being the main primary targets. Then we get to the 6-cost spot. And guys, it's kind of a dud. The 6-cost spot right now is kind of a dud. Let me show you guys something. I don't think I've updated it in a while. Let me see if I'm still running it in my Eustace Kid deck. No, I did change it since my last video. This card right here, guys, this is another great 5-cost card. This card right here used to be 6-cost Cavendish right here in my Eustace Kid deck. And some people might argue it's actually better than Sabo in this deck because we don't want to lose life anyway. Okay, well, guess what? You know this card's about to probably become the 6-cost Kuma we were just looking at because it's just a perfect spot. Or excuse me, where is it? This card right here I was saying would become the 6-cost Kuma, whatever I was just saying there. So anyway, hear me out. Let me go back to so the 6-cost stuff. There's just not much good stuff in the 6-cost spot right now for yellow. There's just not, right? I mean, this is an interesting card. We used to have Raigo, but that's gone. But that wasn't really your 6-Dawn play anyway. That was to deal with big characters. Then you had Nika Robin, I would say, was probably our best 6-cost card, followed very closely by this 6-cost Charlotte Linlin, and that's not saying much. So again, let me just say, and even for the 7-cost, I'll even say that, guys. We had Enel, Linlin, and this Law. 8 drops, we were completely stacked with 2 of some of the best 8-drop cards in the game right now. And then 9, it goes up from there, and 10 we already talked about. But, guys, I just have to say this. This card is such an answer to Yellow's prayers. I'm not saying Yellow's going to become top tier because of this one card. I don't know if it will or not, right? We have no idea what's going to happen. But let me just say this. This was a card that was so insanely needed for Yellow. I cannot express it enough in this video. And what time are we? We're almost up to 20 minutes now of me talking about this one card. Okay, now don't worry. The rest of the cards we talk about, we will not be talking about for this long. But this one, being a yellow main, being a yellow player, and being a yellow Revo Army player. Because remember, guys, Red Yellow Sabo, that's my guy. Cannot wait to get my hands on this card. It is incredible. I think this will become a 4-of staple in most yellow decks. And then a few decks might only run it as a 1 or a 2-of. I will be surprised. Let me say this right now, guys. I will be surprised if people play this, if people do not play this character in any yellow deck going forward, right? I think it will be, what I'm trying to say, let me say it a little more, that was a little clumsy, but I expect this card to be as a 1 or 2 of, if not more, in every yellow deck moving forward. outstanding card. Great card. Okay, that's enough glazing that card, right? All right, next up we have Jory Bonney here. Such an incredible picture. Look at this. She loves pizza, man. That's awesome. Okay, really good stuff there. Just having a grand old time. She's in a vortex of pizza. Look at this, guys. Looks disgusting to me, personally. I mean, I like pizza, don't get me wrong, but just food everywhere. Gross. Okay, anyway. So Jory Bonney, we have a 5-cost, 6,000 power Supernova Bonney Pirates with a 1K counter. So character with a 1K counter. And it has blocker. So 5 cost, 6K, 1K counter blocker. I've said this many times. That is already good by itself. In and of itself, that is already very good. And it's a special character, so you don't have to worry about any slash shenanigans. Has blocker, and it also has another effect here. This is a secret rarity, guys. This is a secret rarity card. It has on play if you have 8 or more rested cards, not Dawn, cards. So it can be Dawn, characters, stages, leaders, whatever, okay? If you have 8 or more rested cards, draw 2, trash 1, and then set up to one of your Dawn as active. That's not end of turn. That's set one of your Dawn as active. So I think this card is probably going to be best in something like Green Yellow Law. Let me see if I've added Green Yellow Law back to... I'm slowly building back up my deck database. Yeah, so I do have one here. I wouldn't copy-paste this list, guys. This is a work in progress. But hear me out. I would not be surprised if you can pull off that Bonney in this list with the draw 2 trash 1 as early as like turn 3. Because if and this going second for sure. If I'm going second, I should definitely be able to do it. But going first, I might be able to do it. So hear me out. Let's just say, for the sake of this example, whoops, I'm trying to get this off. There we go. So let's just say on turn 1, let's go first. Let's see if we can do it going first. Going first, we play out Luffy here. That was 1 Dawn, pass. Turn 2, we have 3 Dawn now. So we have 3 Dawn, and we have a character, and our leader. So right now, on 3 Dawn, we can actually do this right here. On 3 Dawn, we can go like this. We'll have 3 Dawn down. We can attack with our leader. We can attack with this Luffy if we need to. And if we play out another character, we'll have 6 cards altogether. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're definitely going to be able to get there, guys. Sorry if that was a little bit crazy. I was doing a lot of math in my head and kind of doing that out loud. Hopefully you guys are following along. So watch this. On our 3 Dawn play, we're going to play out the Bonney. We're not going to attack. So turn 1, Luffy. Excuse me. Turn 2, Bonney. We're going to set the new Bonney into our life. Okay? We're going to take our top card. Pause and read what this card does if you don't know what it does. It is very important for what we're saying. You're going to, and also, you know what, guys, while you're at it, pause and read this card as well if you don't know what this leader does. Okay? So turn 1, we play out the Searcher Luffy. Turn 2, we play out Jory Bonney. We pull a card back to our hand and put a 5-cost Bonney in the place of it. Turn 3, counter out aggressively. By the way, do not lose that top card for this example. Okay, we give them, say they swing for 6, we give them a 2K counter, they develop a body, whatever. Now, turn 3, we have 5 Dawn. Okay, we have 2 characters and a leader. That's 8 Dawn, guys. That's going to be 8 cards that we can tap for this effect here, right? That's going to be 8 cards we can tap for the effect. Now, how are we going to do that? That's the real question. So we can let's see if we can pull it off. So let's just swing, do a blank swing with our 1-cost guy, even do a blank swing with our Jory Bonney, okay? And then we have to play something out for the turn. Maybe what we do then is, and then we can even play out a Jory Bonney to do some searching, right? We can play out the Jory Bonney to do some searching. So that goes to, so let me see. So that's 4 Dawn tapped, and now 3 bodies are tapped. If we just attack with our leader now, that's 8, and we can attach the final Dawn to our leader, pull back. Well, hang on, we have to. Yeah, no, that would work. Sorry, guys, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm trying to figure this out in my head on the go. So imagine, if we attack him with this Luffy into anything, it doesn't matter. Just attack it so it can be tapped. And attack with your blocker. And then watch this. That's already 2 tapped cards. And then for a 4 Dawn play, right? Here's what we could do. We could play out the... Well, actually, it's not a 4 Dawn play. It's play out the Jory Bonney. That's 1 Dawn. Tap it. That's another Dawn. And the card is tapped now. So that's 5 cards that are tapped on the field. We just have to swing with our leader now to get a 6. And get 2 more Dawn down in some way, and then we have it, right? I know that was super confusing, but I think we can do it. Someone help me out, especially if we throw down an X-Drake or something like that to tap another character. Would that do it? Because we have to have 1 Dawn left for our leader as well to do all these effects right here. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got it right here, guys. So we have the Luffy. We're going to attack for nothing. We had the blocker we played last turn. We're going to attack for nothing. We're going to attack with the leader for nothing. We're going to play out the Bonney. Okay? Then we're going to play out, and so that was 1 Dawn. Then we're going to play out X-Drake. So that's 4 Dawn we've done for the turn, and then we're going to tap the X-Drake to tap one of their characters down, or try to, and then with the remaining 1 Dawn left, we attach it to our leader, pull back the 2K or the Searcher, and then play out the body. Okay, again, I know that was craziness, guys. I know that was all over the place, but I'm just trying to give an example of how that on-play effect seems like it's going to be hard to pull off. But for green-yellow Trafalgar Law, I think you're going to be able to pull that off as early as turn 3. Even going second, that becomes a much easier example, I think. But going first, I think you could still pull this off as early as turn 3. But who's to say you need to pull it off as early as turn 3, right? That could just be one really insane play line you have, you know, later down the road. You know, in any other green deck, here's the thing. It costs 5. Swing with your leader, that's 6. So you just have to find a way to rest 2 more characters or 2 more Dawn, and you're going to get the effect, right? So this is a card that you're going to be able to easily play out probably on average around turn 4 or turn 5, guys. I think you're going to be able to play this card on turn 4 or turn 5 and get the draw 2 effect and stand a Dawn as active pretty much every single game. You guys give me y'all's best example. Guys, in the comment section below, write out your best example of with green-yellow Law, how to play this character out, and then with that on play attach the on play to get an active Dawn to put on our leader and pull a card back. Give me your best example in the comment section below if you get bored, if you want to experiment with that. So other than that, though, overall, I think this card is great. It is a 5-cost 6K 1K counter blocker at its worst. At its worst, it's a 5-cost 6K 1K counter blocker. So 1K counter in hand, blocker on the field, a 5-cost at that, so it can't get bounced as easily, and then at its best, which will probably be 90% of the time, this will be a draw 2 trash one that stands a Dawn as active. It ends up giving you access to 11 Dawn turns by itself on 10 Dawn. So really, really good stuff here. Okay, next up is Nico Robin. Nico Robin says, this is a 6-cost, 7,000 power strike character, Straw Hat crew type. It says, if your leader is Koala or Monkey D. Luffy, this character gains blocker and +3 cost. Guys, this is a 6-cost, 9-cost, 7,000 power blocker. So it's a massive character, and we're not done yet. It has more. But wait, there's more. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, and if your opponent's hand is 5 or greater, your opponent must trash 2 cards from their hand. So we're playing this card out. It's pretty even in that way. You're playing a card from hand, and you're trashing a card from hand, and your opponent has to lose 2 cards from hand. So it's like, it is kind of like balanced in that way. I think almost too balanced, to be honest. Like, where is the advantage in playing this? I mean, don't get me wrong. They're losing 2 cards from their hand. But there's also that restriction there that says if they have 5 or more cards in hand. And from what I've seen, guys, with the direction of a lot of cards in black, there's a lot of hand destruction going on. And I'm a big fan. I'm here for it, guys. I'm here for the hand destruction. That is one of my absolute favorite versions of, like, removal or control or just, you know, whatever you want to call it, like ways to manipulate your opponent, you know, some type of disruption, right? That's my favorite form of disruption within a card game is hand destruction. It might be my actual favorite, to be honest, guys. Really big fan of that. And one more thing we have to say too is look at the art on this card. This is outstanding, right? I try not to use the same words over and over again. This is just incredible. This is beautiful. Excellent piece of art here. I almost wish, I know this, you know, this isn't how it works, right? This is one artist, and what I'm about to show you is a whole nother artist. I wish that would have been the card behind Koala, like that silhouette type of, you know, how do you say it? Like in the background here. I wish that was the art behind Koala instead of this 3/4 view picture of Nico Robin. It still looks good, but I have to say this is above and beyond right here. What we just saw, this is incredible. The way the hair is, everything about it just looks so good. This is awesome. Love to see it. Okay, now back to the actual card itself. So this card is limited, really, if you think about it. It is limited to Koala and Monkey D. Luffy. You can play it in any other color. I mean, excuse me, not any other color. You can play it in any other leader. However, it won't be a blocker, and it won't have +3 cost. So it can't really protect itself as well, and it also can't protect you as well because it doesn't have blocker. However, you technically can play this in any deck if you're just trying to get some hand destruction built in, which is a good step. I think this is a step in the right direction. I do love what they're doing there by printing more hand destruction within this game, and that seems like it's going to be a black card thing. And again, like I said, I'm here for it. I love that idea. I want to see more of that. But I do think that I don't know if this was necessary. Let me say that right now. I think this card right here, even without the leader lock, would have been fine as a blocker. And then maybe give the +3 cost if your leader is Koala or Luffy. Let me rephrase it like that, guys. I actually think that this would have been fine having blocker built into the standard package of the card, and then the +3 cost I think they should have limited to Koala and Luffy. But hey, yeah, it is what it is. This is still a very, very solid card, a very good card, and while it does not impact the board when you play it, because guys, a 6 Dawn investment is massive, okay? In the game of One Piece, for those who are not aware, using 6 Dawn, especially on curve, we got to zoom in on this art, it looks so good. Using 6 Dawn, that is a massive investment, okay? And if it does not affect my opponent's board, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, now you're giving your opponent the initiative a lot of times. Now, this does at least affect their hand. This does hurt their hand pretty badly. So, yeah, really good stuff here. Man, we got to talk a little bit more about this art, guys. Look at this. They got the triangle. Anyone who remembers my old art critique videos, look at how nice this is, guys. We got the triangle created with the hair here. You know, she got the head tilted ever so slightly. The background. Oh man, she's doing the hand things she does with her special ability. Just so good. From top to bottom, this card is outstanding. Love the artwork on this card, the colors and everything. Okay, anyway, got carried away. The art teacher came out there for a minute. But yeah, this card, I am looking forward to experimenting with this, especially in Koala. But here's the problem. Oh wait, no, it's not a problem. Look at this, guys. It's a Straw Hat card. So, oh wait, I can't search it with the new Black Revolutionary Army Searcher, right? Wrong. Remember, guys, the new... Oh, it's actually below where we were. Hang on. The new Black Revo Army Searcher, Koala here. So this is a new Searcher coming out in OP12, Koala. We're going to look at this in a minute. On play, if your leader has the Revo Army type, which of course Koala does, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 card other than Koala with the Revo Army type or Nico Robin, and add it to your hand, then place the remaining cards in the trash. How awesome is that? So I was going to say, man, that stinks. We're not even going to be able to search it up in the new Revo Army. Yes, we are, guys. Yes, we are going to be able to search this up. This is awesome. That 6 cost slot in Black Yellow Koala is going to be insanity. It is going to be absolutely crazy because you're going to have this card in there and the new Kuma. It's going to be hard. See, that's what ends up happening. This effect is very powerful. It's very interesting. It's very strong. However, what else is it competing with in that cost spot? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys see the question there? What else are we even competing with in this area? Well, before, almost nothing. 6 cost Sakazuki. I mean, let's bring it up. Like in the black-yellow card pool, let me bring up all the 6 cost cards. You had 6 cost Sakazuki and Brook. Those were probably your best options. I think this card's pretty good, especially in Koala, in the way that I'm building it with the Dressrosa stuff. Let me put that in the background. Hang on, guys. I got to show y'all what I've been working on. One of my Frankenstein pieces here. Koala. Here we go. This is something I'm working on right now where I'm running 4 of these. This was before Kuma was revealed, by the way. I'm running 4 of the Corda Coliseum. This is a Dressrosa leader, and this is a Dressrosa character. So I'll be able to attack in immediately if I have the stage down with this Luffy if there's a character to attack into. So that's like something I've been working on. But hear me out. Where were we? Oh, yeah, down here. What other 6 cost card even battles with Nico Robin right now? The other Nico Robin, which it does, I guess, technically, but I think the new one's probably even better than this card, in my personal opinion. Even though it's not doing cost reduction, they do 2 very different things. The main thing is you're going to be able to play out this new Nico Robin on just straight up play this card out on curve. You have a 7,000 power blocker, you have a 9 cost character, and your opponent's going to have to trash 2 cards from hand. Really good stuff here. Cannot wait to mess with this card. I think it's going to be very good, but after seeing the 6 cost Kuma that we were just ranting and raving and glazing over for like the past, 30 minutes or whatever it was. No, I think it was only 20. Calm down, guys. It was only 20. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, this card does now pose a challenge to the brand new card coming out in the same set, in the same cost area of the Nico Robin. So we'll have to see what happens there. But in any other deck that's just running black and maybe not yellow, like black red, black blue, black green, black purple, this is a great 6 cost card to go in pretty much any deck for the hand destruction alone. We'll have to see what happens. And tell me what you guys think about these cards in the comment section below, please. Okay, next up is Vinsmoke Reiju. This is a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter character with a special attribute. And this card has, it's Vinsmoke family in Germa 66. And it has, if your trash contains 4 or more events, This character gains plus 2,000 power and 5 cost, and it always has blocker. Excuse me. So it has blocker, period. But if your trash contains 4 or more events, this character gains plus 2,000 and 5 cost. So it ends up being a 4 cost, 9 cost, 7,000 power character. With blocker, very, very powerful. And I think there's going to be quite a few things we can combo with that. Like if we just look at the events for purple and I'm going to say blue and purple, but we're only going to look at purple for now because there's 2 events in particular I think we need to work into the deck to really get the full advantage of that card if we're going to try to fit Reiju into a list. Actually, hang on, one more thing. Okay, interesting, guys. So hang on one second. Look at this, guys. Notice this. If your trash contains 4 or more events, this character gains plus 2,000 power and 5 cost, and then it's a blocker. We actually don't have to run this in Reiju. Like, yes, we get a benefit from running it in Reiju. Okay, we do get a benefit because we can cheat this out potentially with the 2-cost card, the 2-cost Reiju. But we can actually run this in any deck and get that advantage. It says if your trash contains 4 or more events, it's not leader locked at all unless there's been a mistranslation. This might be really, really good in something like blue-purple Luffy. I know that sounds crazy, but for 4 Dawn, you're going to be able to play out a character that counts as a 9-cost 7K, so you can actually block attacks that would attack for 6 into your leader. It has a 1K counter, and then you still have 6 Dawn left for the turn to play with. You might even follow that up with a 5-cost Nami and sit on 1 Dawn for a Gum Gum Giant. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But this card is actually very, very good, and I would not limit yourself in your mind to only trapping this one, trapping this card within the one deck of blue-purple Reiju. This might also be very good. I'm sure it's meant for this. It's probably also going to be very good in the new blue-purple Sanji deck. And guys, when you're blocking for 7,000 and then next turn you're attacking for 7,000, sure, attack into my 9-cost 7,000 power character. Be my guest, right? Good luck with that, by the way. Good luck with that. So this card, this card might be really, really good in the new Sanji. The new Sanji, for those who are not aware, who might be just still catching up, let me type in leaders and go to the purple. It's a blue-purple leader named Sanji, 5,000 power, 4 life. He is Straw Hat Crew and Vinsmoke family. Activate main once per turn. Dawn -1. Activate up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type event card from your hand with an original cost of 3 or less. So you're going to be using a bunch of events in this deck and filling up your how do you say that? You're going to be filling up your trash in that way with events. And that is one thing I think they're starting to focus on. I think Bandai is listening. What is the point in running events right now? Unless they're just absolutely incredible, right? Unless they're just some insanely powerful event. I think we're kind of getting to the stage in the game where it's like, well, why would I even run events? Meanwhile, look in the background, guys. I'm running a deck with 0 events in it. Because if I want some type of way to protect my characters, well, I'm going to run like a blocker, not a counter, right? Because they might attack for 10 into my character that's like a 4. Well, I can't even counter out of that except with like 3 or 4 cards or something, right? I'd rather run a blocker. And hey, here's a great example. Do I want to protect my Supernova cards? Well, I'm going to run Capone Beige, right? Capone Gang Beige, because now it literally protects them. It completely protects them, okay? Like notice what his once per turn effect does. Please pause and read that if you don't know what it does. So it's like, okay, well, why are we running removal? Or excuse me, why are we running events? What about maybe for removal? Well, maybe not. Why don't we just run characters that have removal? And then that's going to be 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to develop a character and remove their character and go from there. But look what they're doing, guys. Like, Koala's not the best example of it, but blue-purple Sanji. Okay, let me type in leaders. Let me just type in OP12. It'll be easier right now for the way it's set up. Look what they've kind of done here. They've been messing around with this. Rayleigh, what do you have to do? You have to reveal 2 events just to do his effect, right? Blue-purple Sanji, what is he doing? He's filling your trash up with events. He's forcing you to run events to get the full effect of his leader. Now, Zoro's, not all of them are the same, but even something like this, Kuzan's a little bit different. When you trash cards from your hand due to your Navy card effects, you may draw an equal number of cards that were trashed due to this effect. This is a little bit different, but there's still potentially something there, because I have showed this off before as well. Let me go to Kuzan real quick. Notice this card right here. It's called It's a Waste of Human Life. Place all cost 3 or lower characters on the bottom of their owner's decks. Then until there are 5 cards in each player's hand, you trash that many cards, right? You trash cards from your hand until you have 5 left. So I feel like they are trying to like mess around with this idea of trying to almost like force us to use cards that have events on them. Or use leaders that force us to run events with them. Now, this one's not quite the same, the Rosinante. Like I said, they're not all doing that, but I think there could be something there. Actually, hang on, maybe there is. The more I look into it, look at with Hiyori here. Hiyori and Perona, pause and read both of these. You can look for a slash character or any green event with each of these characters here. Perona and Hiyori are worded like the exact same way. So red, we have the leader effect doing events. Green, we have the searchers doing the events. Blue and purple, let's just call it that. We have Sanji filling up our trash with events, you know, potentially from, you know, or building around events for his leader effect. And then what do we have left? That was red, green, blue, purple. Black and yellow, I'm not really sure. I feel like there's a leader missing, is there? Oh, he's over here, the Rosinante. Yeah, black and yellow, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe that one, they're not worried as much about the events, but who knows? We haven't seen all the events just yet. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, anyway, that was just kind of a random... We just went on a random side tangent there about Reiju. My point is this. This card is actually going to be excellent. It's going to be incredible in pretty much any deck that runs purple and runs events. You see what I'm saying? And it probably, the deck that it would probably be not as good in would be blue-purple Reiju, right? Because in blue-purple Reiju, you don't really want to run that many. And now let's go back to purple events real quick. Let me go back. Okay, so for events and purple, the only events you're probably going to want to run for Reiju in blue-purple Reiju would be these two cards right here. This is a top 5 searcher. This one's very good. This is a good searching event. And then there's Black Bug. This is a searchable event. And I guess there is Gamma Knife. Let me say that. So it's really these 3 cards. So like 4 Germa 66, maybe 2 Black Bug. This says if the number of Dawn on your field is equal to or less than your opponent's, you can bottom deck a 5 or less. And then the trigger can bottom deck a 4 or less. And then this Gamma Knife, of course, Dawn -1, -5k for the turn. So maybe these are the main cards you're going to go for if you're trying to make this card. Where did it go? This card. If you're trying to make this card work in blue-purple Reiju, I think you're probably going to have to mess around with a lot of the events. And that deck's already super... Where did... hang on, let me check one more thing here. Gum Gum, oh, that's right. Gum Gum Giant's restricted to Straw Hat leaders only. So yeah, if you're trying to make Reiju work in Reiju, if you're trying to make this new Reiju character work in blue-purple Reiju, the leader, it's probably not going to work out that well, to be honest, unless you really modify the list. I'm sure you can figure something out because I have seen what they're doing in the East right now with some of the new cards. I think the main thing they're doing now is making it where it's just, okay, you just run all of the Ikiji package. Ichiji, that's how they want me to say it, guys. People have been yelling at me. I think it's Ichiji. And same thing with beige. Is beige Beji? Is that how you're supposed to say it's Beji? People have been yelling at me about the pronunciations. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. But anyway, with blue-purple Reiju, I think what people are doing now is they're running a full Ichiji package and going from there, right? It's just a full, full 7-cost package, and then like nothing but searchers. So in that case, maybe this card will be good in there. Maybe you build in just a few more event support cards, and it kind of becomes a one-trick deck at that point, though. So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, guys. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I think this is still a very good card, guys. The art looks really cool on this. I like how under her there's this big explosion. She's just flying through the air. She's got this purple stuff going everywhere. Really cool art here. Really cool card. I think it's pretty solid. Okay, next up, we got the big man here himself. We got Monkey D. Garp. That's right. Blue character, 8 cost, 8,000 power, strike character, Navy type, of course. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, so that's going to turn on your leader's effect after this goes through, right? Play from your hand up to 1 blue Navy type character with a power of 8,000 or less other than Garp. Okay. This card is awesome. This card is insanely powerful. We have so many cards that go along with this. Let me just type in Navy and then click on blue. And in fact, in the background, we can already see it. I don't know why I'm even doing this. But look, these are the 3 cards I was going to talk about is these 3 right here. We can cheat out a Borsalino, that's an 8,000 power character, a Kuzan, that's an 8,000 power character, or Aramaki. You already know what I'm going to say. That's an 8,000 power character. These are massive bodies we're going to be able to cheat out. I do like running the Kuzan quite a bit because this one goes with our leader effect. Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. This is a new OP12 card. And maybe we go like, maybe we don't need the Borsalino, or maybe we don't need as many Aramakis. Maybe we run like 2 Borsalino, 2 Aramaki, and then at least 3 of this new Garp card. Let me go back to it. This card is outstanding, guys. This card's incredible. Like 8 cost 8k, cheating out another 8k. seems good to me, right? Because let me read it one more time. Yeah, power of 8,000 or less. So that's all of our characters, right? Those are all the characters I just named, these big, massive 8,000 power characters. You're playing out Garp, you're getting another, you're playing out an 8,000 power character, and then you're getting another 8,000 power character. You guys understand how strong that is, right? Like, that is so much tempo and board flood. It's absolutely incredible. Really, really good card here. I don't have a lot more to talk about with this one. It's pretty straightforward, but let me just say right now, man, that is nice. And you trash a card to do the effect, so you're going to cycle a card basically with Kuzan as your leader. Awesome, awesome card here. And another thing I try to always mention, I don't know if I've mentioned it with all of these. Yeah, I think I've mentioned it with most of these cards. The versatility of this card. You can play this card, this character Garp here, in any deck, but you do have to build around Navy within your deck, right? So on play, you may trash one card from your hand and play from your hand up to one blue Navy type character with a power of 8,000 or less other than Monkey D. Garp. So who knows, maybe we can find a way to make this deck work in something like, can we make like a blue, maybe a blue-red Marco deck or something like that? Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Imagine going Sanji, 9-cost Sanji, into Garp, into Aramaki, or into the Kuzan or something, whatever, right? Just whatever. There's a lot of potential there. That could get gross very quickly, right? That can get very, very powerful. We'll have to see what we can pull off. Okay, moving on from there, we got Monkey D. Luffy. Pretty cool picture here. I don't think it was executed. It's not my favorite way to execute this kind of picture. Who knows? Maybe it's just from the angle. I'm not a huge fan of how this looks. I understand the scene. I see, I know what's going on here. I have seen this before. But let me say this, I just don't like the way it looked. I feel like maybe it's the style itself is what I don't really care for. But it is still pretty cool, right? Because this is where he's dodging, right? Just, that super quick dodge there. The head nod dodge, when they're going for the headshot on him. Really cool there. Okay, now let's read the character. I'm trying to brace myself, guys. I'm trying to brace myself for this because I was very disappointed. I'm sorry to have a teaser within a teaser here, a spoiler within a spoiler, but hear me out. Luffy is a red 4-cost 4,000 power character, Straw Hat Crew Supernova, with a 1k counter. If you have 2 or more attached Dawn cards, this character gains plus 2,000 power. Okay, and then on play, you may reveal 2 event cards from your hand and play up to 1 red character with a power of 3,000 or less from your hand. Then give up to one of your leader or characters 1 rested Dawn card. So he satisfies half of his effect just by playing it out, so that's good at least. But other than that, I'm pretty disappointed with this, guys. And let me say why. This card is really good. Understand, guys, there's going to be misunderstandings there for people who don't know me. This is a very strong card. In Zoro, maybe even in Sanji, right? If you play this out in Sanji, maybe you play out a 3-cost card and give that card rush, like the red PRB01 Sanji, right? I think it's from PRB01, right? I don't know, whatever. Whatever the case is, in most red leaders, this is a very powerful effect here. On play, you're going to cheat out a character, you're going to give a Dawn out. But my biggest problem with this card, even in Zoro, by the way, of course, like with Zoro, you just give a Dawn to your leader, and now your whole board's buffed. But my biggest problem with this character here, guys, is I thought this was supposed to be Rayleigh support, right? And it is. I mean, you can run it in Rayleigh, I guess, but again, we'll have to see the rest of the support. I'm not giving up on Rayleigh yet. I'm not giving up on Rayleigh yet, guys. In fact, I've had some pretty decent success with it, and I've seen some games from the East. People are doing fine with Rayleigh. And we're going to talk about another spoiler in just a moment when we get down to the bottom here. There was another card spoiled, Conqueror's Haki, but we'll come back to that. But this Luffy right here, if you have 2 or more attached Dawn cards, this character gains plus 2,000 power. Is it saying attached to him or just attached on the board? I would imagine it's talking about attached to him, in which case then it's a lot weaker, but if it's attached to anything, then I think it's much stronger. But that's not even what I care about. I just don't know how this card doesn't have Rush. I'm going to be honest. This card, in my opinion, should have said, if your leader is Rayleigh, this card gets Rush. I mean, just something... We're getting to this point, guys. I'm getting a little scared. I'm getting a little bit scared about Rayleigh. We're going to go all the way up to Rayleigh for a second, if it's not too far up. I know it's up here somewhere, guys. Bear with me. We have to talk about Rayleigh for just a minute. If they do not give some type of thing that says, like, if your leader's Rayleigh or if your leader's former Roger Pirates or something like that, I'm starting to wonder why we even run this leader. That's becoming my problem. What is the payoff? Because let me read this real quick, guys. We have Silver's Rayleigh, Red Leader, 5 life, 5,000 power, former Roger Pirates. He's a slash type leader. Per the rules, you cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in your deck. So there's the first restriction right there. We have to have a deck with no 5 cost cards or greater. There's the first problem. There's the first restriction. After that, activate main. You may reveal 2 event cards. So not only am I giving them information on 2 cards in my hand, for the rest of the game, they know my 2 cards in my hand unless I cycle them or use them. He has information on 2 of my cards in my hand, and I have to build that many events into my deck to make this work. Okay, so that was a double whammy there. That was a double whammy there. And then finally, give up to one of your characters with a base power of 4,000 or less, plus 2,000 power for this turn. It doesn't even persist until your next turn, until the start of your next turn. So you have 5 like negative effects here. You have 5, you know, how do I say this? Restrictions, conditions, whatever. For what? What's the payoff? Guys, what is the payoff on this leader? I'm starting to get so frustrated. Bear with me. I'm trying to keep it positive. We always try to keep things positive over here on the VV Theory. But guys, I'm hurting. You need to, you know, keep me in your prayers kind of thing, because this is frustrating me. I'm just kidding, of course. It's not that serious. But this is my absolute favorite character in One Piece is Silver's Rayleigh, man. And look what, you know, look how they massacred my boy. Look how they absolutely massacred my boy. Is he still going to be competitive? Probably. Probably. Okay, they're probably, someone's going to find a way, myself included. We're all going to try to find a way to make this leader better and better and better and refine the list and maybe play it to the most optimal level and try to make it competitive. Will it ever get to the top tier? I don't know. We'll have to see, because we don't even know all the support yet. There are still more cards that need to be previewed. But let me just run through the list real quick, and then we'll finish back down there where we were with the Luffy. Shanks here. This is some OP12 support, right? This would have been Rayleigh support, you'd think, right? Wrong. You may give up to one of your characters with Roger Pirates in its types other than Shanks Rush. Okay, I mean, I guess that could potentially be support. And then going down from there, okay, now we have some event support. Observation Haki, main, you may attach 1 active Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh. Okay, and then look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 red event card or up to 1 cost 3 or greater character card, then put it into your hand and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Remember though, guys, you can only fit cards in this deck that cost 1, 2, 3, or 4. No 5 costs. So you can search up any 3 cost or 4 cost card with this card right here, and that's it. Now this is the one card that says attach 1 Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh. So you do have to have a Silver's Rayleigh to attach to use this effect. Okay? Moving on from there. Here's Buggy. This would be OP12 red card here. This is going to be Silver's Rayleigh support, right? Wrong. On play, up to one of your characters with Roger Pirates, including its types other than Buggy, gains blocker until the next end phase. Okay, let's go down to the next one. I think we get another event here. We're having fun, right, guys? We're having a little bit of fun here. Now we have Armament Haki. So we had Observation Haki, which is like a top 4 search for Rayleigh specifically. But depending on how it's worded, it had quotations. If it's in brackets, you can even attach it to a character named Rayleigh and still do the search. Again, let me look one more time, guys, before we move on to Armament Haki. Give me just a second. I want to make sure we have this just right. All right, here it is. So notice how this is worded. You may attach 1 active Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh. So in other words, if you have the 5 cost or 8 cost Silver's Rayleigh on the board, you can even run this card outside of the leader Rayleigh. Again, unless there's some type of mistranslation or if I'm misunderstanding what they're saying here, you can attach a Dawn to Rayleigh and then do a top 4 search and go from there, right? Okay, and then we go back down to where we were, to the Armament Haki. Look at this one, guys. Okay, here we are. Main, you may attach 1 active Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh, and then give up to one of your leader or characters plus 1,000 power for this turn, and then counter, give up to one of your characters or your Silver's Rayleigh 2k counter for this battle. So the counter on this one just works for anyone. And then the activate main, again, it's talking about a Silver's Rayleigh. Guys, do y'all know? Say something in the comment section below if you know. Are they saying any card with the name Silver's Rayleigh? Because usually that wouldn't be quotations. It would be brackets, right? It would not be quotations. It would be brackets. So I need to know, do you guys know? Here, I'll even bring it up on the screen here. Can you guys translate this for me? It would be in the bold right here. For them, they have like a upside down L and a normal size L, or a normal L, and actually it's like a backwards L and then an upside down L, and I guess that's their quotation or bracket. You guys tell me, I don't know. But typically in English, the way that it works is quotations is talking about types including, but bracket, like not a winged bracket, not the winged bracket, but the standard brackets, that would mean a card named, whatever it is. So we'll have to see what happens there. So again, this armament Haki, pretty sure you can just run this in any deck that even just runs a Rayleigh, like even the 8-cost Rayleigh. And remember, guys, the red leader Rayleigh cannot run the 5-cost or 8-cost Rayleigh that are currently in the game. Guys, look at this. Okay, Rayleigh. Okay, if I could just spell, there we go. All right, so here's all the Rayleighs in the game right now. This leader cannot run this character or this character. Rayleigh cannot have Rayleigh in the deck. I'm at a loss for words, guys. I'm stuttering over my speech because I just don't know what to say. And then, okay, now we start to see, now we finally get a card that I think is legitimately more than likely support for Rayleigh. So this is Crocus. He's a 2-cost 3K, 1K counter, former Roger Pirate. With on KO, reveal 2 event cards from your hand and play up to 1 red character card with 3,000 power or less from your hand. Okay, well, maybe we can make stuff work off that where we're just always filling out the board. But again, we'll have to see. We don't know what all the cards are yet. And now that brings us back to this Luffy. Luffy is a 4-cost, 4K with a 1K counter, and if you have 2 or more attached on, it gets plus 2,000 power, and that's not for the turn, that's just period. And then on play, you may reveal 2 event cards from your hand, and then play up to 1 red character with a power of 3,000 or less from your hand, then give up to one of your leaders or characters 1 rested on. So, again, I think this card is going to be just fine in pretty much any kind of red deck that runs enough event support, but other than that, I'm really waiting for the payoff to play Rayleigh, guys. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Is the payoff going to be you just get to run a bunch of really cool events that really benefit Rayleigh, like or cards named Rayleigh? Because if that's it, I'm really sad about that, I have to say. We'll have to see. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Just to focus in on this card, I'm even going to focus in on it like outside of Rayleigh. Yes, this will help Rayleigh. You can fill out the board a little bit with these smaller characters. There's a lot of, guys, there's a lot of 3,000 power characters in this game, okay? There are a lot of 3,000 power characters we can cheat out. Maybe even this Luffy right here, which can be buffed very easily. There's this Sanji. This is probably the best target in my opinion. This new Monet. Then there's also, well, Koala is more for Revo Army. There's one other card. It's a 3-cost Whitebeard card. I always talk about Vista. Where's Vista? Am I just not seeing it? There it is. Okay, so there's Vista. I think those are probably your best targets. And this 2K counter Sanji. Maybe even Dedan. We could potentially cheat out a Dedan, which search for more cards. We'll have to see what we can do here. Let me bring up Rayleigh in the background just so you guys can see what I've been kind of tampering with. I'm going to move the leader so it all fits on here. But notice the direction I'm building this leader. I'm building it more of like the zoo version of the deck because of how efficient that engine is. And this is all that was available on the sim when I was doing my testing. There was no armament Haki and there was no Conqueror's Haki available on the sim at the time you're recording this. And I would probably include those. We'll talk about Conqueror's Haki in a minute. But yeah, there are options for sure, guys. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe even this Searcher Luffy, just have nothing but Searchers. It could be pretty interesting. This Buggy's a 3K. This Vista, like I said, there are some options. But I guess more than anything, let me say this. I'm just disappointed in like the direction Rayleigh's going. Maybe that's my biggest problem, guys, is the disappointment in the direction that Rayleigh is going. Because there's nothing we can do about that, right? That's just like Bandai said, you know what? Here's how we want to build Silver's Rayleigh. And it's like, okay, so we're going to build an entire deck of cards with not even half the card pool involved. Like only 4-cost and lower cards involved, and we have to run a certain amount of events just to even be able to pull it off, to pull off the leader's effect. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this card right here, outside of, just in general, I will say this card is still very solid because this is this is a card that's going to allow you to fill out the board. It does fill up the board, and it can buff, and it can move Dawn around. So again, this card itself is very, very solid. I think more than anything is like the realization is setting in for me after seeing these cards. It's like, wait a minute, the way that we're going to have to build Rayleigh is pretty much the kind of deck that I don't ever want to play. It's kind of the deck that I don't ever want to play. And even if I tend to not really care what people's reactions are to cards, but it looks like there is a consensus here, at least among the reactions. I'm not going to read all of the actual messages, but when you look at the reactions, we got the triple Z, like sleeping emoji, and then the sleeping emoji, the skull. What is this one? Sleepy. We got Luffy on there. It says Luffy Thug, whatever's going on there. We got Koala. I'm not sure what's going. That one's like a troll one, and then this one says mid. Yeah, and I tend to agree. Like, this is just a boring card. Is it strong? Yeah, probably. It's probably a pretty strong card, especially if you can go like on your. Let me say this, guys. Do think about this for a second. You're going second, okay? Turn 1, searcher, whatever. Turn one's always hit or miss, right? Who knows? Turn 2, though, that's where the game starts really catching, or really starts picking up. Turn 2, if you were going second and you slam down this card right here, attach a Dawn to your leader, okay? And then cheat out a 3,000 power or less. Is it 3,000 power or less, or is it 3,000 exactly? Yeah, it says 3,000 power or less character from your hand. Okay, so why don't we just slam down this one right here? Seems good. Next turn, I'm going to be swinging with 2 6Ks. But here's where things get... Now, any deck can do what I just said there, as long as you can reveal 2 events from your hand. That is the big stipulation, is if you... on play, reveal 2 event cards from your hand. If you can do that, it gets really, really powerful. Because next turn, this guy will easily become a 6K if we need him to, whether it be from our leader. We can even make him into an 8K if we have to, right? There's a lot of things we can do. There's a lot of different things we can do there. And the same thing with the Sanji we were just talking about. We can cheat that out as well and do some stuff from there. Where was I going with all that? I'm sorry, guys. I got a little bit sidetracked. Like, you know, we could get some big swings in on the next turn. But remember, guys, you can pretty much do that in any deck as long as you're running enough event cards. And that's where things get a little bit scary. It's like, well, what is going to stop, I don't know, like Zoro or what, fill in the blank. I don't care. Just pick any red deck. It could be Zoro. It could be Dragon. It could be ST21 Luffy. It could be any red deck. What is stopping them from just running enough of these cards like this that have enough events to support it? Because everyone's kind of running Rad Beams, Gum Gum, Mole Guns, and what else? I mean, there's a few others. We could even fit in these observation cards if you run enough support for that in the deck. I don't know. There's other options is my point. As long as you have 2 event cards you can reveal consistently, well, now you're slamming down these insane characters, and you know, in any red deck, not just Rayleigh. So that's my biggest concern. But is this card good? Absolutely. This card is solid, especially if you start modifying your deck into more of the event package, which is not a bad thing in general, because then you almost for sure want to run something like Marco, and then you can have this kind of like this direction for the deck, where, and at that point, since you're running Marco and we're having to run enough events to pull off what we're trying to do every single turn. And by the way, I'm not talking about in Rayleigh. Rayleigh can't run this. Rayleigh can't even run 5-cost characters. I'm talking about in red Zoro, ST21 Luffy, or just any red deck. You know, even Splash Red, Red Blue Marco, you name it. It could be any kind of deck that runs red. You could run Marco in there, and now you have power reduction. And if you're running enough events like Divine Departure, that's another good one. If you're running Zoro, you have this Shut Up and Come With Us. You have Rad Beam. You have Gum Gum Mole Gun. Now you have all these extra cards to pitch to get even further value from your Marco. I'm just saying, guys, it's one of those situations. And maybe even, let me see, I want to see one more thing with Baccarat. There's a I think that's how you say it, this card here. Yeah, and here's another thing you'll be able to do. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter blocker. On opponent's attack once per turn, trash 1 card from your hand and give up one of your leader or characters plus 2,000 power during this battle. Okay, one of your leaders or characters. So you're going to be able to trash these events from your hand to save cards like Marco, or even get plus 2K counters with cards like Baccarat and things like that. It's just, it's one of those things. We'll have to see what happens, guys. I'm a little bit annoyed by it. I'm not going to lie. Do I think this card is good? Absolutely. Positively, right? However you say that. I just kind of made that word up. But here's the problem. This is good in everything, including, you know, like Rayleigh isn't the only card that benefits from this. And I'm not saying that Rayleigh needs cards that only he benefits from. I'm not saying that. But maybe I am saying that at the same time. Because like I was reading earlier, I don't want to zip all the way to the top here. I'll try to do it like super fast this time. Just try to blast through some of these. There we go. So like, when it comes to Rayleigh, remember what I was saying, guys. It is 5 conditions that are against us to play this leader. Where is the payoff? That's what I'm asking. I need y'all to tell me. I need y'all to tell me in the comment section below. What is the payoff to running this leader? Is it just running the special Haki events, or is it something else that I'm overlooking? We'll have to see. Okay, so now let's move on from there. That's Luffy. Now we're going to talk about Dracula Mihawk. Dracula Mihawk is a green 8-cost, 8,000 power character with Muggy Kingdom and 7 Warlords type, and it has blocker, and on play, set up to 4 Dawn as active. Then you may not play a character with an original cost of 7 or more for the rest of the turn. That wasn't necessary. I'm sorry. That was not necessary. But whatever. You know, I don't like the stipulation at the end because, I mean, we just saw what you could do with this one right here, right? I mean, we just saw this. Like, what are they trying to do? Because you can already play out a Cavendish to get more Dawn. So it ends up being like, okay, for 8 Dawn, on a 10 Dawn turn, you can play out 8 Dawn, what's his name? Mihawk. Now you still have 6 Dawn left for the turn. You can play out the Cavendish, and now you still have 3 Dawn left for the turn. Wait, did I do that right? 8, 5, no. You got like 5 Dawn left for the turn still. And then you can play out a Smoke or stand a Dawn up. You know what I mean? You can, I think if I did, hey, let me try that one. On a 10 Dawn turn, 8 Dawn, you go from 2 Dawn back up to 6, play out a 5 Dawn Cavendish, you go down to 1, and then, yeah, so it was 3. I'm sorry, it was not 5. You get 3 Dawn back. Anyway, whatever the case is, the point, let me just say this. The point is this. This card is very strong. I just don't know. You guys, tell me what the point is of like having where you can't play out a 7 or more character for the turn. Like, is that just to stop you from playing out another Mihawk? Because maybe that's what they're trying to do. Imagine if you have a Cavendish on the board. So, okay, I have Cavendish on the board. I play out Mihawk for 8. And on a 10 Dawn turn, and I have Cavendish on the board, I play out Mihawk for 8, I go down to 2, and then back up to 6. I swing for 6 with my Cavendish, stand 2 more Dawn up, I'm back to 8. Play out another Mihawk, and then I'm down to 0, go back to 4, and go from there. Maybe that's what they're trying to prevent. I have no idea. If your board state is like, or if it's at that point of the game where they just can't deal with the Cavendish on their 10 Dawn turn, it almost feels like a win more type of situation. But you guys know how it is. They have to make sure green has every single restriction possible on it, or else they can't be printed. It'd be too strong, guys. It'd just be too strong, right? I'm joking. I'm being facetious, but honestly, I just don't understand that. Whatever the case is, I think this card is very, very powerful. Standing up 4 Dawn like that right away, even just playing this out on curve on an 8 Dawn or 9 Dawn turn, standing up 4 Dawn where you have 4 or 5 Dawn left for the turn to work with, that'll probably be a really incredible play, actually. Imagine on like a 9 Dawn turn, you play this out for 4, basically. You get 5 Dawn back, you play out a Cavendish, you get 2 Dawn back, and now you can do what you want from there. On a 10 Dawn turn, it becomes really gross, because on a 10 Dawn turn, it's play this out for 8, go up to 6, play out a Cavendish, go up to 3, play out a 3-cost Tashigi, your whole board's protected, you have a blocker, and yeah, you're looking pretty good. Big fan of this card. I don't have a lot to say on this other than the fact that this card is excellent, and there's not really a downside. It's kind of the same idea as Garp. I don't have a lot to say about this. This is just good on the surface. There's not really a downside to this card. I guess with Mihawk and with Garp, you know, they don't have 1K counters. I guess that's the one downside, but they're 8-cost cards. You know, you kind of expect those to be what they are. So really good stuff here. Big fan. I'm not a huge fan of the art on this one. I don't mean to be overly critical because I've been mentioning the art in pretty much every one of these. I mentioned it on Luffy. Garp, I didn't mention the art on this one. I'm not a huge fan of this one either, to be fair, but it still looks cool. It's pretty awesome. He's sitting there like on this like throne on this chair. Talked a little bit about Reiju, talked about Nico Robin, talked about the others. I didn't really talk about the art on Kuma either, did I? This art looks incredible. But anyway, back to Mihawk. I'm not a huge fan of how this art is. I think it's almost like this like color. I hate to say it like this, guys, but it's almost like color barf, you know, on the picture here. And I don't mean to be, you know, like gross or anything like that. The art still looks good, but it's a little too much going on here. Maybe it has something to do with the anime or the manga that I'm not aware of, because it looks like he's in a cemetery type of setting. Notice there's like a cross here. Maybe that's a church in the background or something. I don't know. And it looks like, is that his sword or a shovel? I couldn't tell at first because of this angle. I think it's his sword because I could see the hilt, and that looks like a blade down here. And like, yeah. So wherever this person is, wherever Mihawk is, yeah, it has a very eerie glow to it, which I do like that. But I think there's too much color going on, at least from what I'm seeing here. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Really good card. Can't wait to play around with this in green. This is something that I really like. One thing, I've mentioned this before, guys. Green and purple, I don't really care for those. I don't care for those colors in the game. But one thing I do like about green is when you can stand Dawn up and do tricks from there, because I feel like it allows for the best players to really abuse that and to like really show their skill. You know what I mean? And I do like the really technical decks like that. Big fan of this effect. Okay, we will talk about these real quick. Not much. These are just all charts for the new leaders. We got blue, purple, Sanji, purple, yellow, Rosinante. Then we have black and yellow, Koala. Oops. Not really going to talk too much about the art on these. And then we have Rayleigh, Zoro, and Kuzan. Okay. Good stuff there. I did mention this a little bit in yesterday's video. I'm not a huge fan of this style. I'm just going to be honest, guys. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not a huge fan of these leader styles. Not saying they look bad. I just prefer other things. Okay? All right, next up, we're not going to spend much time talking about Koala here. Really cool picture. Looks great. 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter. It has on play. Let me see. On play, if your leader has the Revo Army type, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 card other than Koala with a Revo Army type or Nika Robin, and then add it to your hand, then place the remaining in your trash. Filling up your trash, good stuff there, nothing to talk about, very solid. I did talk about these a little bit. I'm just going to blast through these real quick because I do want to talk about 2 other cards. I really want to focus in on this Conqueror's Haki, so let me just kind of run through these real quick. Ursa's Shock is a 4-cost black event, 7 Warlords Revo Army. Main is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or lower, and if you control an 8-cost or higher character, you may instead KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. Okay? Trigger, draw a card, trash one from the top of the deck. I do want to talk about that for a second. It looks like that's a trigger they're adding to black now. That was a card that came out all the way back in, I think, like OP03, guys. Is it rubber band, 1 word? Let me see something. It might be 2 words. Oh, hang on. I'm not an English major, guys. I'm not an English major. There we go. So Usopp's Rubber Band of Doom. Yeah, this came out in OP03. It has draw 1 card and trash the top card of your deck. I always thought that should have been a black trigger effect, and they have finally added that to the game. I love to see that. Draw 1 and place a card from the top of your deck in your trash. Yep, excellent. Very, very good trigger for black. I think black could have even gotten away with trashing 2 cards from the trigger. I think that would have been completely fine. But otherwise, this is like the this is the 7 Warlords Revo Army version of True No Bastardo. We've already seen this effect in the game before as well. Let me type in true. Hang on. True. Let me see if that brings it up for black. Okay, I don't know what it's... I'm just going to type in 4 cost black and go down to the events. Okay, excuse me. It's called Destructive Sword of Thunder on the sim. It's called True No Bastardo is the name of it in the game, but on the sim it's called Destructive Sword of Thunder. It is a 4-cost main. Choose up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or lower and KO it. And then if your trash has at least 15 cards, you can KO a 6 instead. Right? So it's the same exact kind of effect. A 6 cost or lower instead, I mean. So, but this one goes off of cost of characters. This one's much more versatile, but the trigger's not as good. Well, actually, I guess it depends. This trigger always works, whereas the True No Bastardo trigger only works if your leader's active. It can KO a 5 or less. However, this one just always draws a card. Okay. Next up, we got Emporio Ivankov. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power Revo Army, 1k counter blocker with on play. If your leader has Revo Army type, place 3 cards from your deck into your trash. Just a nice utility blocker. We're not going to spend much time on that. Now, this Waxing Fist is pretty nice. 1-cost Impel Down Revo Army type card here, black event. Counter, up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then, if you have an 8-cost or higher character with Revo Army type, then that card gains an additional plus 2,000 power. So it's basically a 1-cost 4K for black. It's way better than Barrier, though. We already had a 1-cost 4K in black, and it was called Barrier. Did I spell it wrong? All right, here it is. So this card right here, this was a 1-cost 4K, but you had to have 15 or more cards in your trash, or it was a 1-cost 2K. But this new one we're seeing, this Waxing Fist, big fan of this. You just have to have an 8-cost or higher character in play, and you can do a 4K. Really love this one. And then the trigger is that same draw 1, trash the top card of your deck. Okay, next up we have Captain's Assemble. This is a searcher for Revo Army. Top 3 searcher, reveal a Revo Army type card and trash the rest. And then trigger, activate the card's main effect. Okay, now let's get down. We got one more card to go over, guys. I know this video is running pretty long, and we still have a game at the end here. We still have 1 game to go over. This video is running pretty long. Conqueror's Haki, 0-cost red events. So every single Haki we've seen so far, the Armament, the Observation, and the Conquerors, they're all 0-cost events, right? And then counter, this one has counter, give up to one of your characters or your Silver's Rayleigh plus 2,000 power for this battle. Then you may rest one of your Dawn cards, and if you did, give all of your opponent's leader and characters minus 1,000 power for this turn. So I have to say, this is yet again, so going back to every single thing we've seen so far, guys, I feel like every single one of these cards is going to be better in Shanks or Zoro or ST21 Luffy. I just feel like every single one of these cards, again, unless there's some type of mistranslation that I don't understand about the way this is, I don't know what the upside down L, backwards L bracket system means in Japanese, but in English, this quotation is, there's no way this is correct, because quotations would normally mean, you know, types including fill in the blank, whatever it's quoting. When it talks about a name of a character, it's usually a bracket, a standard bracket system. And that would mean that this can target any card named Rayleigh. Notice how it doesn't say like leader as well, right? But at the same time, this can just give a character plus 2,000 power for the battle. It doesn't care if you have a Rayleigh. But then if you have a Dawn, you can rest it, and then you can give the rest of your opponent's leaders and characters minus 1,000 for the turn. So, hey, this card is outstanding. Guys, this card is incredible. Conqueror's Haki, very, very solid. Very, very solid event here. In every single other leader except Shanks. You know, or, excuse me, except in every other leader except Rayleigh. Like, in Rayleigh, it's still good, by the way. It's not like it's bad in Rayleigh. Let me just say that. Let me rephrase that. This is just a generically good event. It's good in everything, not just Rayleigh. So, again, I go back to my original question I was asking earlier when we were talking about Luffy. What is the point of running Rayleigh? Like, what is the advantage? What are the benefits? What is the payoff? Because whatever you're going to say, again, some of the cards required you to have a Rayleigh on the, like, some type of Rayleigh card. Well, you could just run the 5-cost blocker Rayleigh and the 8-cost character Rayleigh, and then you still get the effect. Again, unless I'm mistaken, someone tell me if I'm off in the comment section below, because of the way this is translated, it's a little bit weird. But this one doesn't care if you have Rayleigh. You can just give one of your characters plus 2,000 for the battle, and then minus 1,000 to your whole opponent's side for the turn. The plus 2,000 buff is for the battle, but the minus 1,000 is for the turn. Okay, so this card is just excellent in general. And here we go again. Like I said, you know what you're going to be able to do with all these new really cool cards, like this card, this new Luffy. If you have two, hang on, not that one, on play, if you may reveal 2 event cards from your hand. So that looks like it's the major drawback. Like, oh, you know, only Rayleigh's going to want to run that many events, right? No, probably not. In fact, what you're probably going to do from here on out is you're probably going to build enough events into your deck to justify running Marco, and then, like, I mean, Shanks was already doing that, right? Shanks was already running enough events in their deck to probably pull this off most of the times. And now if they just do some modifications with these new Haki cards and whatnot, well, you can just add these cards right over to Shanks or Zoro or whoever. And that's my biggest concern is, like, well, what is the advantage? Again, what is the benefit of running Rayleigh? And that's where I'm really struggling. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section below. Because whatever your idea is, whatever your justification is for running Rayleigh, number one, I think, I could be mistaken, but pretty much every other red deck can already do that. Every other red leader can already run all these cards. And again, like going to the Haki cards, like let me see in the sim right now, we have this one, Observation Haki. Yeah, notice this. Now in the sim, it's correct, or at least what I think is correct. You may attach one active Dawn card to one of your Silver's Rayleigh. Notice how it says one of your Silver's Rayleigh in brackets? That means any card named Silver's Rayleigh. Like these. So if you just have this card on the board, or if you have this card on the board, you can use this event. And then what are you going to do? Look at this, guys. Look at this search. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and reveal up to one red event. So any red event you can search up, right, in the top 4 cards, or up to 1 cost 3 or greater character card and add it to your hand. So you can literally, number one, I guess this can technically search for itself, right? This can actually search for itself. And then on top of that, it can also search up another Rayleigh in Shanks. But Rayleigh, the leader, cannot search up these cards because it can't run cards in the deck that cost 5 or more. Guys, help me out, man. Help me see the light. Am I missing something? What am I missing here? I'm pretty much done yapping. There is one more card I do want to mention, one more thing on. We're going to go backwards now. Actually, let me just summarize real quick. Conqueror's Haki, very, very strong. No doubt about it. This Luffy, where is he at? I was just on him. This Luffy, very strong. No doubt about that either. But what is the payoff for running Shanks right, or for running Rayleigh right now? I keep messing up Shanks and Rayleigh. I'm sorry, guys. What is the payoff for running Rayleigh right now? You guys help me out, but be nice. We're trying to have a little bit of fun at the same time. I'm trying to get you guys involved in this too to help me see it. But I'm really struggling right now to see why we should run Rayleigh at all. Like what is the payoff over any other red leader where we can get our 5 Dawn, 6 Dawn, 7 Dawn, 8 Dawn, 9 Dawn, 10 Dawn characters in? Okay. Now, here's Sabo, guys. This is what we're going to end on. I have talked about this before, but I do want to just say a few more things about it. Sabo, 5 cost, 6,000 power, Revo Army, Dressrosa character with a 1k counter. If you have 3 or fewer life, this character gains blocker and +3 cost. On play, you may add the top card of your life to your hand, and then draw 2 cards and trash 1 card from hand. It ends up being like a draw 3, trash 1 because, you know, you're adding the top card of your life to your hand as well. Really big fan of this. I have already kind of talked about and mentioned this card. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. The funny part is, and when I mentioned this card before, I think this card is actually really good in almost everything except Red Yellow Sabo. But who knows, now that we've seen the new Kuma, that's the main reason I wanted to talk about this card. I was a little bit down on this card at first because I thought, man, this really isn't that great in Red Yellow Sabo. Like, all things considered, this is actually not great in Red Yellow Sabo because you're trying to develop a board and then you give your board back to your life in order to, you know, protect yourself and protect the cards. Well, we don't want to take life too aggressively unless it depends on the version, of course, but it's just a little bit different. The card is kind of just, it doesn't have a lot of synergy with Red Yellow Sabo, the leader. It's still probably good no matter what as like a 1 or a 2 of in any kind of yellow deck, just like Kuma is. But this, I was a little bit down on this card after first seeing it. But now that we've seen Kuma, guys, now if we lose a life with this card, we can just block out aggressively or counter out aggressively on the next turn. And then we follow up on our 7 Dawn turn with this card with 1 Dawn for our leader to do effects with. Absolutely incredible. And we can start recycling this card in Red Yellow Sabo, guys. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get my hands on this card. And I will talk about the art now. I didn't really talk about it before. The art looks incredible. Love the blues, the yellows, the blacks. It's like blue, black, and gold, right? Blue, black, and yellow, whatever. It just looks so good. Everything about this card is just like, I'm going to need 4 of these. I'm hoping this secret rare is not too expensive. Hopefully people still don't want to play yellow or whatever, so that way we can get these on the cheap. But yeah, really, really looking forward to this. All right, I'm done with that. All right, let's go ahead and hop into some games into 1 game on the sim, guys. We got 1 game on the sim, and then we're going to wrap up this video. Let me shrink my camera down. We got a game of Red Yellow Sabo. That's right, game of Red Yellow Sabo versus Blackbeard. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. I'm running the Goa Kingdom version in this one. This is me playing, of course. Blackbeard is not exactly the toughest matchup for Red Yellow Sabo or for any red deck because you're just super aggressive. You have rushers. You kind of negate a lot of what they're doing. However, the worst card I can draw against Blackbeard, against Marshall D. Teach, is that 5-cost ace in my hand right now because that card doesn't have rush. It has on play. It gains rush if you have 2 or less life cards. We're going to swing it for 8 here. We did develop Nami last turn. Let's see if they get any triggers. Any triggers, and looks like nope, I don't think so. And then we're just going to pass the turn back as soon as this guy makes up his mind. Say, hey man, make up your mind, your turn. All right, they're going to go up to 4 Dawn now. It's their turn too. Let's see what they choose to do. They've got 8 cards in hand right now. They're going to swing for 5. We're going to gladly take that because Red Yellow Sabo needs to get down to 2 life so it can start playing out the 5-cost ace. We're going to smash in for 7. Probably could have done 6, and let's see what they're going to do here. Any trigger? Any trigger? All right, no trigger. Very nice. We're going to attach a Dawn to our... Okay, that's why I did that. I swung for 7 first with my Luffy, trying to get that attack out of the way, and then I'm swinging for 6 with my leader after pushing my Luffy into life and protecting it. Okay, so that's that. Let's see what our opponent does now. We don't have anything on the board for them to KO, and that's how we want to keep it. So they're going to attack in for 6. We're just going to take our Luffy back. It looks like they're going to attack in for 6 more with the Burgess. They trash a card to turn off our on-play effects, and here we go. We're going to play out the Luffy again. Slight sequencing issue here, I think. I should attach a Dawn to my leader right here, no matter what. That should be the first thing that I do. Okay. We're going to swing for 6. We'll end up going 7 into it, and then I can go 8 into it afterwards. Just to be safe, though, it's always smart to to move these cards around like that. Oh, excuse me, I was going to swing 7 again like this. So I definitely should have done things a little bit differently, but it ended up not mattering. Always practice proper sequencing, even if there is no downside to it, or in not doing the proper sequence, quote unquote proper sequencing. And the proper sequencing is using up what you have to on the board first, playing around triggers and stuff. But we were attacking into character, so it didn't really matter. Okay, so here we go. So we swing 7 into face. They're going to play out Lafitte here. They're going to do some searching. Our hand couldn't be much worse, by the way. Like, our hand is literally dead. This is a completely bricked hand. This hand is completely dead, other than 5k counter. Because remember, guys, those aces, those are 5-cost 7k vanillas with no counter on them. They do not have rush when he activates his leader effect. Those are on-play rush cards if we have 2 or less life. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to swing for 8 into 6. We're not letting him have the Luffy. He can attack into our face. That's fine. He does not attack into our face. He knew what we were trying to do. He shuts off our on-play effects with his leader effect, and now we're just going to smash into stuff here. I don't think it really matters the order in which we do this. We'll swing 5 into 1 there. We're going to play out the ace, it looks like. Yeah, I should play this out. It looks like I might attack into his Van Augur. I'm not sure what I'm trying to do here. It looks like, am I about to go 6 into face? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, playing out the ace now, I can swing for 7 into face. This, okay, nice, gives me a 2K and a 1K. We will take that. We do take those. And we're going to play out the Karasu, and now it's their turn. They have a 10 Dawn turn. They just searched up a Teach. They're going to lock down my leader, and they're going to lock down my Karasu. They're going to swing into that. They're going to swing 6 into 6 here, and I think I should 1K counter out of this. That's the way to do it. And now we can actually go everything into this Van Augur. We can go everything into this Van Augur. We'll go 7 into 6. He gives me his 2K counter. Beautiful. We'll go 6 into there. I dare him to block with that Marshall D Teach, right? Because we would smash into that and it'd be gone. And now we're going to swing for 5. Let's see if he wants to block it. I would have taken that if I was Blackbeard just to get cards in hand. I didn't want to swing it first. I thought it'd help him out too much. So, okay, he's going to do some more searching. I think he grabs another Marshall D Teach. Yep, he grabs another 10 cost. Not a whole lot he can do, though, right? There's not a whole lot he can do here. He's going to swing for a 12 into 6. That's a good start. He's going to swing 5 into there. We're going to take it, and here we go. Yep. Okay, so we'll swing for 5. He takes it. He gets a trigger. Okay, he gets a he gets the good old-fashioned Shigan finger pistol trigger. So now I have to go 12 into 12 because otherwise I can't survive. And we're going to push this card back to life. We're going to push him back to life. We'll swing for, it looks like I have 4 Dawn left. We'll swing in for, yeah, we'll play out the Nami as well. We'll swing in for 13 so that he can't block it with his leader for free. He's down to 0. I have the Luffy in hand. I have a 1-cost Nami on the board. I'm going to be able to swing in for like 13 next turn here, or more than that if he can't get through, if he can't, watch this. Who's he going to lock down? The Karasu? No, he locked down the ace this turn. So he's about to give up. He's about to just concede right here, I believe. Yeah, pause. So hear me out. Here's how this turn would have gone. He could swing if he wanted to. I would just take it. It just doesn't matter because he can't do lethal. So here's the thing. This turn right here, I would actually, I mean, it doesn't even matter. I could literally just swing 5, 5, 5 and game's over. But let's just pretend he had some cards in hand to try to defend this. The way it would go is I would still swing for 5, still swing for 5, and I would actually play out the Luffy for 5, attach a Dawn to my leader for free, put 5 Dawn on the Luffy, he's at 11, push my ace into my life with my leader's effect, giving the Luffy plus 2,000, and I'm swinging for 13K unblockable. GG. Okay, that was fun. Let me show you guys the deck list real quick. I had it up at the beginning. 1 second. Let me get back to, there it is. Red, Yellow, Sabo, Goa. I'm gonna move the leader out of the way so you guys can see the entire list real quick. And I'll have it linked in the comment section. But this is the list I was just running. It's a pretty straightforward Goa Kingdom list. I'm running the 4 Garp Searchers, 8 of the 2 cost characters, the Luffys and the Aces, 4 of this Luffy, 4 of this Ace, and then 2 of this Luffy. Everything else is pretty straightforward. It's just got, like, you know, Sanji is my 3 Dawn play. It's got, you know, the Nami here that can move Dawn around. Some 2K counters. My 2K counter package is all over the place. Run whatever you want for the 2K counter package. But I do like Kuma. I do like Frankie. I do like Satori. The Flampe is just something that I usually like to run. Not many people like to run this as much as I do. But I do think Koala is very important for the green matchups against, and purple. Green and purple matchups where they go very tall on the board. Koala can help you knock them down to size and deal with big cards like Eustace Kid and whatnot. There you go, guys. That's it. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me get the outro page up here. Man, this video went pretty long, didn't it? Hang on. Did I mess with my camera? There we go. All right. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. Guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help out my channel, using my TCG Player affiliate link. We did a market watch yesterday. Be sure to check that out. People who are donating through Patreon and PayPal, Playmat supporters, YouTube members, Discord community. However you're helping me out, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I really do. It means a lot to me. I really do appreciate that. Keeping the channel going, keeping the dream alive. Hey, this game, I feel like it just keeps getting better and better. Those spoilers we saw today, tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Kuma, Bonney, Garp, Mihawk, these cards were insane. I didn't name all of them, but I'm just saying those 4 in particular are the ones that stand out to me. The Nico Robin was pretty good. The Luffy, the Conqueror's Haki, all kinds of cool stuff coming out in OP12. I cannot wait for them to catch us up with the East and to see the rest of these OP12 spoilers. What do you guys think, guys? Tell me what you think about the new Kuma. Tell me what you think of Silver's Rayleigh, the leader. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be a bust? What's going on? Tell me what y'all think of OP12 so far. And yeah, till next time, guys. Peace.